That time of the year again, Friday night, high school football. The season got underway tonight. We have highlights. Hey, maybe a future member of the Thomas Titans watching as Thomas took on Pittsford in this one. Panthers first drive. Henry Hoffen, play fake, finds Matt Sullivan all the way down to the 2-yard line. Next play, Nick Barkley's going to pound it in from 2 yards out. Pittsford up 7-0. We'll go to the next drive. It's 4th and goal from the 1, and Hoffen's going to keep it himself. He's going to race to the pylon, and he'll get in. That's a touchdown. Pittsford rolls over Thomas tonight, the final 35-0. Also, Eastridge hosting Churchville-Chili in this one. Lancers were trailing 7-6 after 1. They get it going in the second. Jeremiah Ortiz, far sideline all the way down to the 2-yard line. On the next play, Ortiz going to take it in easily, and suddenly it's 28-7 lead for the Lancers. First play of the next possession. Alec Mortellaro is going to escape the rush and just heave it down the field. Ricky Hagens is there to pull it in for the touchdown. Great play. They go on to win tonight, the final 49-13. The Gene Maston era over in Hornell. Eric Werner era begins against Bishop Kearney. Hornell up 7-0 in the third. Here comes Kearney. Tyler Curtin down the field to P.V. Norfley, who makes a man miss off to the races. 35 yards for the touchdown. It's a 7-6 game. The Kings would go for the lead, but Curtin can't find anybody. He's going to be sacked by a pair of defenders. Red Raiders take over. On the ensuing drive, it's going to be an option pitch to Luke Morgan. He's going to take it in from 9 yards out. Hornell has won 40 consecutive games. They win tonight, the final 26-6.
The high school football season started this weekend. Let's show you some highlights from Saturday's action out there on the football field. Hilton taking on Rush-Henrietta, your defending Section 5 champs. Tied at 0. First drive of the second half for RH. 4th and 5. Chauncey Sism takes it in the pitch to Bay Barley, who floats it up to Chase Whiteman. 7-0. Hilton would answer in the beginning of the 4th. On the goal line, Justin Ligori, a jump ball to 6'3" Nick Prince. It's 7-6 rush, but Sism would answer right back. He gets loose for another touchdown. RH goes on to win this one close, 14-6. Marshall, meanwhile, taking on Penfield today. Penfield would strike first. Jake Palladino puts one up for Jeff Young. It's 7-0. Now Jason Howard drops back for Marshall. His pass tipped, and Trent Marr gets the pick for the Patriots here. Then they would, okay, now here's Jason Howard dropping back for Marshall. His pass is going to be tipped. Trent Marr gets the pick for the Patriots, and they would capitalize. Cam Serico runs it on the left side, gives the Patriots a 14-0 lead, and Penfield goes on to win their first game 21-10.
High school football season wrapped up week 1 with a full slate of action earlier this afternoon. We'll start with McQuaid down the thruway, taking on a very good Canisius squad. McQuaid down 7-0. They go for the punt, but the snap goes way back for a safety. It was 9-0 Canisius. Same score, still in the first. Canisius on the QB keeper. That made it 16-0. McQuaid got a couple TDs late, but they could not overcome a big deficit and lose 36-17.
Yeah, it was quite a night in high school football. Thunder, lightning, heavy rains led to delays. It was a long night, but they got most of the football games in. That includes Gates-Chili hosting Penfield after a long weather delay. Gates up 7-0. Andre Shaw deep to Isaiah Brown. Look at this catch off his helmet. And he holds on David Tyree style. What a tough catch, but they wouldn't score. Next drive, C.J. Pelosi's going to run it right. He's going to find some space, breaks the ankles, takes it to the touchdown. Spartans on top, 14-0. He was limping, but he would be all right. Penfield then backed up deep. Jake Hewitt's going to go deep, but watch Calafonte Russell make the nice over-the-shoulder interception, and then he's off to the races. Watch him go, setting up the blockers, getting back deep into Penfield territory. Couple of plays later, they give it back to Pelosi. He's the guy who's the finisher for this team. He would go in untouched for the score. Gates wins it big tonight, 48-0. How about Hilton and Webster Thomas tonight? First drive of the game for the Titans. Steve Sigardo's pass is going to be tipped and picked off by Nicholas Prince. Cadets were in business. Later on the same drive, great play fake. Dustin Ligori is going to fake it and then keep it and run it in for the touchdown. 7-0 Hilton. Now Thomas tries to respond. Zaccardo now looking for Jake Condello. He's going to bounce off some defenders, take it 19 yards. They were on a long drive here. In fact, it lasted more than 10 minutes, but on 4th and goal, Zaccardo tries to throw it up, but it's going to be picked off by Anthony Negrelli. Hilton holds on to win it tonight in a shutout, 26-0. We have Irondequoit hosting Victor in a good one tonight. Victor's first drive had him at the goal line. Sophomore quarterback Mike Wagner's going to punch it in to give the Blue Devils a 7-0 lead. Then they had an hour delay for the weather when they got back on the field. It's Wagner again. This time his pass is going to be tipped and picked off by Zachary Brimacombe. That would give the Eagles some momentum. A few plays later, Antonio McIntyre runs it in to even it up at 7, but Victor answers right back. Wagner off the play fake finds his tight end Cash Blyer in the flat. He's going to rumble all the way down the field. And then a couple of plays later, Wagner at quarterback's got the zone read, takes it himself. Victor goes on to win it tonight. The final 26-7. Now the Fairport Schroeder game had to be postponed in the second quarter due to the storm. They'll pick it up Sunday afternoon, the Red Raiders, with a 6-0 lead. We've got Kearney and Cal-Mum, and tonight Joe Capitelli all over the field. Watch him break open here. He scored the Red Raiders' first 3 touchdowns. And his buddy Mike Nevinger was going to take care of one here. He puts it in. You know Cal-Mum, they love to keep it on the ground and score. Later, Kearney's trying to come back late in the game. Andrew Losey's pass, though, is going to be picked off. Cal-Mum goes to Kearney tonight and wins 29-12. We're not done. They call it the Black Dungeon, welcoming the McQuaid Knights in their home opener against Marshall. First quarter, no score. John Vandenbrühl on the move, goes deep to Will Mahar. Between 2 defenders, comes down with it for the touchdown. McQuaid up 7-0. Same score in the first. Vandenbrühl is going to find Corey Parker on the screen, and Parker does the rest. They missed the extra point, but at this point, McQuaid had a 13-0 lead. Now to the second. Parker on defense. Watch him bust through and get the sack. And then later on the next possession, the same 2 hook up again. Vandenbrühl looking deep, finding Parker for the long touchdown. McQuaid would win big tonight, the final 32-8. We go to the southern tier. First drive for Dansville against Bath tonight. Bruce Rinker of Bath is going to be tackled for the loss in his own backfield here. Later, it's Daniel Leonard going to look on offense and find Austin Vasor deep inside Mustang territory. Good scramble and the throw right there. But later on the option, Leonard's going to get stopped back at the 6-yard line, stalling the drive. But they weren't finished on the next play. Leonard on the TD pass to Vasor to make it 6-0 Bath. They would go on to beat Dansville tonight, the final 18-6. And also tonight, Hornell against Wellsville. Red Raiders up 33-6, and they were rolling. Zach Bacon running over defenders for the big gainer. Hornell would go on to beat Wellsville tonight. The final in that one, 40-8. And as we already showed you tonight at 10.
High school ball. Yeah, soggy fields all over Section 5 today. Pittsford at Rush-Henrietta. First quarter, Pittsford's Nick Barclay fumbles. Chauncey Sissom, right place, right time. He recovers for RH. And on the ensuing drive, Sissom hands to Daniel Bartley, who goes up and over the pile for the score. And later in the second quarter, Sissom finds Chase Welchman down the middle for another RH touchdown. Rush-Henrietta wins it 21-0. Greece Arcadia traveled across town to meet Athena as the rain started clearing up. Early on, Frankie Carnavale tosses to Trayvon Jones for the score, and Athena goes up quickly. But check this out. Second quarter kickoff. Arcadia down 13-0. The Titans overrun the kick. That's a live football. Part of me, though, thinks Daquan Brown knew that and just did it on purpose. Scoops it up, breaks a tackle, sheds another, avoids one more, finds the far sideline, and he's gone. A 95-yard kick return for Brown. And Arcadia, boy, did they need it. They struggled to move the football all day today. Athena, though, did not. Next drive, Carnevale, zone read. Takes it himself, runs it in. Athena is your winner, 33-13. More Grease football. Olympia hosting Brockport. And the Blue Devils were airing it out today, locked up in a tight one in the third quarter. Tom Sadesky looking deep for Alex Alvarez, but Sadesky puts this one too far. That's a sure touchdown. Otherwise, how about the athleticism of Denzel Knight of Brockport? Hurdles a defender right there. He paid for it. He's pumped up, but you know who's not impressed? Desmond Mobley. Sadesky again going up top for Alvarez, but Mobley, and he's there. He picks it off, but Olympia doesn't quite have enough. This one goes to double overtime. Brockport wins it 27-24. Aquinas at home today hosted Pittsburgh's University Prep. That's freshman Jake Zimbeck under center for the Little Irish, but with a 7-0 lead. Alonzo Turney can't handle Zimbeck's pass. It's intercepted. University Prep hoping for a little swing and momentum, but the AQ defense, yeah, they weren't having any of it. Next possession, James Hedger leading a host of Aquinas defenders in for the sack. Big play there. University Prep trouble moving the ball all day long. Ensuing punt, Turney looking for some redemption. He's going to take this all the way down to the University Prep 13-yard line. And on the next play, yeah, something we've seen before. Zimbeck tosses to Billy Lombardi, who takes it in from 13 yards out. The Little Irish, they're big winners, 49-20.
All right, Friday night, high school football tonight. We begin with a couple of unbeatens in an early season, Spencerport and Brockport, and it was an emotional night out at Brockport since the passing of Coach Greg Pelletier from last year. His son, his family, his wife there on this emotional night for that community. And they celebrated his life before the game. And then to the game itself, it is Brockport's Denzel Knight bouncing it outside. Eventually, he's going to be dragged down out of bounds. This would lead to the touchdown. They led it 6-0. Now, Spencerport's a tough team this year, and they respond. Rob Williams is going to take it and just lower his shoulder. He's in from 4 yards out at 7-6, Spencerport. But Knight had a huge night. Second quarter, he goes in from a couple of yards out to make it 12-7. Later, more from the Blue Devils, more from Knight. Denzel's going to take it in to score here. Brockport wins it tonight at home, the final 25-13. How about Webster Thomas hosting Fairport in this one? Second quarter, Fairport's up 21-7, and they add to it. Kevin Vaughn finds Marquise Young on the screen, and he is going to do the rest. He's pulling away. Tell everybody, get out of the way. We want to see the touchdown. There he goes. He keeps running. It's 27-7 Red Raiders. On the kickoff after the touchdown, David Angie's going to get loose here, and it looks like he's going to go all the way. But they're going to catch up to him at about the 20-yard line. That gave him good field position, but eventually they'd face a fourth down. Dan McAvoy is going to make the tackle right here, just short of the first down. And then same score, Thomas on the goal line looking for the touchdown, but this time Jay Patterson breaks it up. Good defense for Fairport. They win tonight 33-7. Rainy night at Victor as the Blue Devils played their rival Canandaigua. Austin Coyne to Nate Bellis here. He's going to just break the plane and get in for the touchdown. Here it comes. There's the pass. There's the touchdown. They had a lead 7-0. We're still 7-0 in the second quarter. Tommy Wagner, who had a huge game, breaks free here. Big run for Victor. How big of a night was it for Wagner? 39 carries, 301 yards. And, of course, if you're going to run that much, you might as well get in the end zone. And Wagner did it 6 times tonight. What a night. What a night for Victor. They hold on, 42-35. Grease Athena at Churchville-Chili. Athena driving at the end of the first. James Latona is going to lay down the big hit coming up right there. Woo, forces the incompletion. Saints down 20-6 at the break. Start of the second half. They try the end around on the kickoff, and it's going to work. Austin Correa is going to follow his blockers, keep weaving in and out. Coaches love when the plays work. He gets the touchdown. Churchville is within 6. Next possession for Athena. John Abarca is going to avoid the rush. He's going to scramble right. He's going to look deep, and he's going to find Joe Green, who comes down with it at the 5-yard line. On the very next play, Abarca is going to keep it himself to put Athena up big. At this point, 32-14. They go on to the win tonight, the final 39-17. And one more, Eastridge taking on Brighton tonight. For the Lancers, here's Nate Corbett, who's going to go inside, tough running on the inside, and he would get it over the line before the ball comes loose. They had a 6-0 lead. Brighton trying to hang in there. Devin Carter with the big run, but here's the problem. He gets hit right there. Ball pops loose, and the Lancers recover. And then it's Alex Morillaro on the pass to Jay Sean Pinkard for the touchdown. Eastridge wins again tonight, the final 32-9.
Week 3 of the high school football season capped off with a great game at Webster. We're going to start our highlights at the last game of the night, Webster Schroeder and Rush-Henrietta. Jake Guy looking for Michael Joyner on the screen, and Joyner looking for the end zone. He's got it, and Schroeder had a 21-6 lead over the defending Section 5 champs. Royal Comets need to spark. Quick kick gets squibbed to Bay Barley. And look at Barley. Picks it up, runs straight ahead through everyone and then by everyone. What a spark that provided for him. Gets RH within a score, and the floodgates just opened up for both teams. Chauncey Sissom finding Chase Whiteman for the go-ahead touchdown. RH takes their first lead of the game. Schroeder, though, wasn't done. This time, Guy, the big quarterback, keeps it up the middle, hurdles the pile. He's in. Warriors retake the lead. Now Sissom trying to answer for Rush-Henrietta, in trouble. Watch him just heave it up off his back foot. Not fundamentally sound, but it gets the job done to Chancellor Harris. And then later in the drive, Harris takes the handoff and puts RH ahead for good. Royal Comets take a barn burner, 39-28. Hey, no surprise that Chris Battaglia's little Irish squad is still unbeaten at Aquinas, taking on Bishop Timon. First drive, Jake Zembeck tosses right to Billy Lombardi. Watch Lombardi, defending co-player of the year, just lowers the shoulder and keeps going. He is a compact runner, big gain, puts them in good position for this. You might as well give it to the guy who got you there. Lombardi takes the toss and scores. Aquinas quickly up 7-0, and they win easily, 35-7. Hilton, meanwhile, looking like a contender in Class AA themselves. They were in Penfield this afternoon. Started out with Dustin LeGorey, handing off to Derek Richards. Richards gets outside. Look at the stiff arm. Sheds the tackle, heads for the pylon, and scores. Hilton up 7-0. After a fumble recovery for the Cadets, it's LeGorey all by himself. This time doesn't hand it off to anybody. Untouched into the end zone, 14-0 Hilton. Same score, still in the first. LeGorey looking to the air, finds Andrew Miller in the middle of the end zone for the score. Cadets win this one easily, 40-6. Hey, still not done. More high school football to get to, including a crosstown rivalry up in Greece. It was homecoming for Arcadia, taking on Olympia. Time winding down in the first half. Javon Hampton looking deep and going to DeQuan Brown. Brown on the Hail Mary, hauls it in. Looked like he was into the end zone, but ruled down on the one. He actually fell on top of the defender, should have scored. Instead, it's just 14-7 Arcadia at the break. Third quarter, though, Hampton says refs can't dispute this one. Doesn't go down here and instead runs into the end zone from 9 yards out. Arcadia gets a homecoming victory, 21-14. That is sports. Lots of football today. Huh?
High school football, they got it started early this weekend. Perry visiting Bishop Kearney, and these guys airing it out. First quarter, Yellow Jackets quarterback Corey Dillon going up for Jake Keel right there. He'd take it down the sidelines for the touchdown there. Then later on the ensuing drive, Kearney's Tyler Curtin going to hook up with Ardell Brown. The deep ball there. Brown had a nice game, including the score there. But Perry comes right back. It's Dillon again. He's going to roll right and find Anthony Ricotta down the field. One of 5 first-half touchdown passes. Perry rolls to the win. The final 50-30.
We are at the midway point of the high school football season. Big matchups and big rivalries across the board for week 4. Starting with one of those rivalries, Webster v. Webster. Schroeder taking on Thomas. Schroeder driving near the red zone. Jake Guy rolling out, looking into the end zone, way up top, but it is intercepted by Kevin Ambrosetti, and Thomas would take over. Webster Thomas has scored just one touchdown coming into this game, but on 4th and 15, Kyle Chase runs it in for the touchdown. It was their only touchdown of this game, but guess what? It was enough to win the rivalry matchup. Titans get their first W of the year, 7-0. Hilton, meanwhile, hosting Fairport, a huge matchup in Class AA. How about this? Opening kickoff of the second half. Hilton going for the return. Josh Cressetti returning for Hilton, but he is hit and stripped by Chris Hoke. Hoke takes it the other way for the score. We are tied at 20. Just does it all himself. But the Cadet offense was clicking. Dustin Ligori for Nicholas Prince. Catch and long run to pay dirt, putting Hilton back on top in this one. Visitors, though, Fairport weren't going anywhere. Marquise Young, the beautiful spin move's going to get him free. And he's gone. Big plays all over the place in this game. Fairport went blow for blow with Hilton most of this one. But as we said, Cadet offense unstoppable. Derek Richards punches it in from 2 yards out, gives Hilton the lead back, a lead they would not relinquish. 48-34 the final. Canandaigua visiting Brockport tonight. Pick it up in the first quarter. Blue Devils quarterback Tom Sadesky likes to throw, so he fakes the run and goes to the air. Finds his man, Mike Myers, in the end zone for the score. Brockport jumps out 8-0. Braves coming back. They've played tough with everyone this year. Ensuing drive, Austin Coyne finds Nate Bellis, lowers his shoulder to get into the end zone. But Sadesky and Brockport, too tough through the air. Hooks up with Frankie Marcera on the deep ball. He scores to make it Brockport's lead. They win this game 36-29. Greece Arcadia visiting Irondequoit. This one was wild at the end. 17-14 in the third. Irondequoit gives to Antonio McIntyre. He scores for the Eagles on the near side to make it 21-17. I-Town later on in the third. Javon Hampton scrambling, looking up top for his man, Justin Duker. He catches it in traffic and runs a few more yards to make it a 3-point Arcadia lead. After a turnover, though, the Eagles have the ball, but they're going to give it right back on the fumble themselves. So Arcadia recovers. You think it's over with time winding down, but they got to run out the clock. And when you got to run out the clock, too, you still got to hold on to the ball. And Arcadia here, oh, no. That's worst-case scenario. Irondequoit falls on it. They have one more chance. They're on the Arcadia 3, going for the score and the win, but, oh, the high snap. Titans recover. That finally seals it. Arcadia takes it 24-21. Greece Olympia, meanwhile, in Victor, hoping for an upset of the Blue Devils. We're scoreless in the first. Patrick Metzger, playing quarterback, finds Mike Wagner, also a quarterback, looking like a receiver. Makes a couple moves, gets into the end zone, 28 yards, 7-0. Next Victor possession. Tommy Wagner. How's this for a run? Just taking defenders with him. 3, 4, 5 guys, 6 finally to get him down inside the 10. Blue Devils try to punch it in, but instead miscommunication leads to a collision and a fumble. Dylan Drexler recovers. Olympia makes a big stand. Second quarter, Victor moving again. Metzger looking for Connor Powers. Rule the catch and fumble out of bounds. The refs confer. They give the signal. These are no replacements, people. They know what they're doing. Later in the drive, Mike Wagner again sneaks it in, and Victor wins big, 36-7. Finally, Brighton hosting Spencerport on homecoming. They're going nuts over there. 7-6 Spencerport in the second. Trent Eggenloff takes the handoff. Speaking of dragging defenders, you saw Victor do it. Spencerport's doing it too. Eggenloff all the way down to the 2. Got to hold on to his jersey to bring him down. 2 plays later, Jake O'Connell looks like he stopped, but nope, not before he crosses the goal line. That made it 14-6 Spencerport. They went nuts in the second half, and Spencerport gets the win on Brighton's homecoming, 42-28.
Rivalry week in Section 5 this weekend, kick-started by a 7-0 slugfest between Webster Schroeder and Webster Thomas last night. Game of the day today was McQuaid at Aquinas. Winner takes home the challenge trophy. First quarter, we've seen this before. Billy Lombardi catches the outside corner and scores. The defending sectional player of the year puts Aquinas on top 6-0. They missed the extra point. McQuaid's only real offense success that came in the form of the Wildcat. Thanks in part to senior Corey Parker. Told us this week that the seniors hadn't won that trophy. They wanted it bad before they graduated. That run sets up the play of the day. Will Mahar from 48 yards out, and he nails it. would have been good from 60, but McQuaid's offense just couldn't bring the Knights all the way back. Final possession, John Vandenbroel going up top is intercepted by Alonzo Turney, and Aquinas keeps the challenge trophy. They win 6-3. Another rivalry game in Penfield, the Patriots hosting Pittsford, and the Panthers go into the air early. Henry Hoffen finds Matt Atkins, gets all the way down to the 1-yard line, and Pittsford on the next play, they punch it in. They go up 35-0. You either had close games or blowouts today, but hey, Penfield not giving in. Jake Palladino looking for Trelawney Salmon for the score. This one was all Pittsford, though. The Panthers win 35-14. East, they're pumped up. They're hosting Marshall today. All this Orientals. East running back Greg Washington rips off the big gainer, putting East in great position to extend its already monumental lead. Later, Justin Noy punches it in from close. The Orientals running away with it. Later on, Nicodemus Gamble, he's going to pile on. Check out this run. Bouncing off defenders, he goes 15 yards for the score, and East wins big 35-0. Eastridge visited Greece Athena today. First Eastridge possession. The Trojans forcing the fumble, and it's recovered by Athena's Josh Daly. But they wouldn't capitalize. Next possession, Athena looking for the screen pass, but it's Eastridge Kyron Brown Wallace picks it off. The big man rumbling, he takes it 29 yards for the score, and the Lancers go up 7-0. And boy, Athena struggled on offense today. Second quarter, Trojans going to the air again. This time, it's going to be intercepted by Nate Corbett. Eastridge wins 7-0. Other scores around Section 5 today. Edison went over to Rush-Henrietta and got blown out. Rush wins that one 48-6, and University Prep falls to Finney 15-6.
All right, we are into the second half of the high school football season tonight. A chance for a few teams to take a major step towards the top spot in the playoffs. And one of those teams, Rush-Henrietta. They were taking on Gates-Chili tonight, and RH quarterback Chauncey Sissom takes it himself here. He was on fire on the ground. Number 21 going all the way for the score to give his team the early 7-0 lead. Still in the first quarter, Sissom again, and he's gone again. He would take 3 into the end zone in the first quarter alone, getting it done on the ground. But he is a quarterback, and Chauncey can do it in the air too. Later, going back to throw, looking off the safety. Good quarterback play here, and he's going to find Darren Roper for the score over the middle. All Rush-Henrietta tonight. They beat Gates-Chili 40-12. How about Webster Schroeder taking on Hilton tonight? Derek Richards of Hilton weaving through the defense, going to take it all the way for the touchdown to give the Cadets the early 7-0 lead. Now Schroeder trying to hang in there. Jake Guy, their quarterback, he's looking to throw, but it's his counterpart at quarterback, DJ Lagery, who's going to pick it off right there. Playing defense too. Nice interception. And then from 5 yards out, he's going to give the ball to Richards, who takes it in for his second score. This made it 14-0. The final tonight, they go on to win. Hilton takes it 35-28. At Churchville-Chili, they wore blue, part of Blue September, part of their support for cancer research. 13-12 in the third. Churchville trying to punt. They fumble the snap, try to pick it up. It's blocked and goes to the 2-yard line. Then they try to knock it through the end zone. It ends up with Denzel Knight recovering in the end zone for the touchdown. 20-10 at that point. And then later, Brockport's next possession, Tom Sadesky finds Knight on the screen, and he knows what to do with it. Denzel taking it to the house, 75 yards for the score to give them the lead. 27-10, fourth quarter. Chili trying to get back in it. John Iacucci with the pass, but it's picked off by Alex Alvarez. Ball game there. Brockport beats Churchville-Chili 33-10. Victor, unbeaten, hosting HFL. The Blue Devils already with a big lead in the second half. They're going to give it to Tommy Wagner, who takes the handoff and breaks into the open field. It's an ankle tackle that keeps him from going all the way, but that just slowed him down. A few plays later, Wagner takes the pitch. 3 guys are going to try to wrap him up. They won't get him down. 20 yards later, he's in for the touchdown and the bigger lead. Cougars try to answer, but on 4th down, Brett Nasello is going to lead the charge, coming through and getting the sack. Victor wins big tonight, 46-7. Brighton at Irondequoit in this one. Already 19-2 Brighton. Irondequoit's Antonio McIntyre is going to run it in. They had the 2-point conversion, and we've got a game. It was 19-10, but then later, McIntyre trying to get another one. This time, as he fights for the extra yardage, the ball gets stripped, and Brighton is going to recover. And then later, Brighton's Devon Carter going to take it home with the touchdown run to put his team up 25-10. Brighton goes on to the victory tonight, beating Irondequoit 25-10 is your final. And Aquinas against St. Joe's of Buffalo. Both teams at 4-0 coming in, but the Little Irish would lose for the first time. David Archer rolls out and finds Nigel Davis. Great move. He does the rest. They beat Aquinas tonight. The final score, 27-14, St. Joe's. Hey.
Saturday in Section 5 football was capped off tonight with a rivalry at St. John Fisher. Pittsford and Fairport met up there tonight. This one was all Panthers. Pittsford up 14-0 at the half. First drive of the third quarter. Fairport's Kevin Vaughn looking in the flat, picked off by Ben Kroll. And Pittsford is on the doorstep again. 4 plays later, Henry Hoffman off the play fake finds Matt Sullivan wide open for the 3-yard score. Makes it 20-0 Panthers. Ensuing Fairport drive. Vaughn gonna roll right. Oh, he's gonna be intercepted again. This time it's Nathan Fogel and Pittsford on the next play. This angle not gonna do it justice. Hoffman going up top for Mac Atkins, who goes up and over a defender to make the highlight grab, continues into the end zone, and Pittsford wins 33-0. Homecoming at Eastridge today. Canandaigua, the visitors. Second play from scrimmage. Eastridge QB Alec Mortallero gone. 40 yards, and just like that, the Lancers jump out to a 7-0 lead. But Canandaigua, they came to play. Still 7-0 in the second quarter when Braves running back Jamin Ransom takes it down the far sideline and in to tie things at 7, but then this one explodes. Third quarter, now 28-21 Eastridge. How about the patience of Delano Reed? Waits for the hole to open, turns it on. He's gone. 85 yards for Reed, and he gives his Lancers a 14-point lead. Fourth quarter now, 42-35 Eastridge before Mortallero goes up top, looking for Marquel Vasquez for the 25-yard catch and score. Barn fire Eastridge. They win 48-35. Olympia hosting Athena today. The Spartans pumped up, but it's Athena who strikes first off the play action. Frankie Carnevale finds Ryan Prevost behind the secondary. Prevost, extra effort, gets him in the end zone. Athena takes a 7-0 lead. But next Athena possession, Carnevale again looking for Prevost, but it's tipped and intercepted by Ryan Morgan. Huge pick as the Trojans neared the goal line, and Olympia would drive down the field. After switching sides at the quarter break, Jamari Jefferson, the fumble at the goal line, but Alex Watson, the big offensive lineman, is there to fall on it in the end zone. Big man getting on the stat sheet, and Olympia takes a 10-7 lead. Then the Spartans would force an Athena 3-and-out, setting up Craig Hargers just before half. The long punt return down the near sideline. Olympia would hit another field goal before the break to take a 13-7 lead into the locker room. But Athena, they come back to the second half to win big, 28-13. Another homecoming, this one at Penfield today. They hosted Webster Thomas, who was not very polite. Already up 14-0. Thomas pounding the football. Look at Alex Armstrong. Breaks 3 tackles, rips off the big gainer for Thomas, and that sets up Kyle Chase, who finds David Angie on the deep out, and Angie jets his way down the far sideline and takes off at the goal line. Angie got airborne for the score. Thomas up big. Ensuing Penfield drive. Jake Palladino looking downfield for Trelawney Salmon. Instead, he finds Jake Giudice. The beautiful interception. And number 24, hey, he'd actually taken the distance. This one, though, called back because of a Thomas holding. That's all right. Gives us a shot to see Steven Zaccardo. Takes the pitch, avoids a tackler, cuts back, runs over a defender. Zaccardo and the Titans win 28-14.
Let's get to this. Week 6 of the high school football season. We start with a huge matchup in Class A today. Eastridge and Victor, both unbeaten, playing on the turf at East Irondequoit. First drive for the Lancers. Jeremiah Ortiz bounces outside, and the young man's got speed to burn and the legs to do it. Going down the sideline, off to the races, tripped up by the safety at the 17-yard line. But no worries. Later in the drive, Alec Mortellaro keeps it from 2 yards. Point after, no good, but Eastridge still up 6-0. Victor, though, would respond. Patrick Metzger rolls out to his right, evades the sack, throws it up in the end zone, and that is caught there for Victor. Luke Blyer. PAT no good, though. It's 6-6. So second quarter, Mortellaro airs it out for Markel Vasquez. Big gain into Blue Devil territory on the nice throw and catch. Few plays later, just give it to Ortiz. A little shorter this time. Into the end zone he goes. Big win for Eastridge. They get it 35-20. Homecoming for the Hilton Cadets as they hosted Gates Chili. Second quarter, DJ Ligori looking for a diving Nicholas Prince for the first down. Great play for Hilton. Later on in the drive, the little guy who's really not so little, Derek Richards, sometimes a shorter running back's just so hard to tackle. He's had a great season putting Hilton up 7-0. Same score in the game. DJ Ligori now. He dislocated his knee last week playing this one, and they need him because he's been playing well too. Hangs it up for Andrew Miller. 14-0. Hilton, they came to a close in the first half as Anthony Negrelli picking off the long pass. Hilton wins easily in this one, 35-7. Denzel Knight and his Brockport team looking to stay unbeaten themselves, hosting Greece Arcadia today, 14-6. Brockport in the second quarter. Denzel Knight running right toward the camera. That's convenient for us. Touchdown makes it 21-8 Blue Devils. Now it's Knight once again. Could be one of the plays of the year. Athletic kid, just having a great season. Will likely reap the rewards of it later. Look at the hurdle over the defender. Awesome. 28-8 Blue Devils. Watch again. You have to see the replay as Knight goes up and over the defender before scoring. Unreal for the Brockport player. Arcadia, though, would be knocking on the door. Fourth down. Alex Alvarez going to swat the pass away. Part of a good all-around effort. Brockport wins 34-8. McQuaid was going Gangnam style. Oh, yeah. That is awesome. Defensive battle, though. McQuaid trying to air it out. Tyrell Marshall for East jumps up to make the pick. Making moves afterwards and eventually would be tackled near midfield. East in business, trying to punch it in on the 5-yard line. They run the toss play, but it's fumbled, and McQuaid would recover on their own 5. But McQuaid had a hard time answering, too, trying to make a move. Darius Walker in the backfield. East was up 10-3 in the fourth quarter. We'll have to update that score for you at 11 o'clock as well.
Week 6 of Section 5 football came to a close today, and as the end of the regular season draws near, the playoff picture gets a little more clear, and we start figuring out who's playing the best football, and that may be Rush-Henrietta. They hosted Thomas today. RH may be Section 5's top squad. A lot of that is thanks to these two guys. First quarter, Chauncey Sissom gives to Chancellor Harris for the 4-yard touchdown, and the Royal Comets are up 7-0. Same score in the second. Sissom in the flat to Latrell Parson in space, lowers his shoulder at the goal line. Touchdown, RH. They lead 14-0. Titans trying to pull even late in the first half. Kyle Chase buys himself lots of time, so inevitably things are going to break down in the secondary. Chase Weishman break this one down. With a minute to go in the half, Weishman picks off Chase, and the Royal Comets drive right down the field. Harris, with nothing on the clock, in for his second TD, and Rush rolls. They win 42-6. Pittsford hosted Webster Schroeder today, and the Panthers must have picked up some of that electrolyte water at that new Trader Joe's because they had it going. Pittsford already up 7-0 when Mac Atkins picks it off, sets the Panthers up for Glenn Mullenix. A couple plays later, Mullenix doesn't even break stride. That's north-south running at its finest. The long score makes it 14-0 Pittsford, and Mullenix wasn't done. Later on, middle, not there. So he bounces it out to the outside and pounds his way in. The Panthers go up 21-0. Mullenix had another long TD run called back thanks to a penalty. Danny Page, it's cool, dude. I gotcha. Page takes the pitch, cuts it upfield and in. Pittsford, big winners, 38-6. Fairport trying to bounce back from last week's loss at the paws of the Panthers. Today they hosted Penfield. Marquise Young, there he is. And there he goes. 50-yard run and score for Young puts Fairport up 7-0 early. And second quarter, It's the junior again. Young, far sideline and gone. Fairport keeping up with today's blowout trend. They lead 14-0. But Nick Kimmins and Penfield not going away. Kimmins breaks into the open field. Pink socks and all. Supporting breast cancer. This is good karma. Kimmins into the end zone. Cuts the Red Raider lead back down to 7. Fairport, though, would answer. Kevin Vaughn fakes the dive, keeps it himself, and he's gone. Another big Fairport touchdown run makes it 21-7 Red Raiders, and they go on to win 34-13. 3 games, 3 wins for the home teams. Olympia trying to make it 4 for 4, but their special teams game, man, it wasn't helping the cause. Up 7-0. Spartans punting. James Latona takes it on a bounce, weaves, reverses field. He's going to stay on his feet all the way down to the Olympia 5-yard line. That led to a Josh Powell score that tied it up at 7. And just before halftime, Olympia punting again deep in their own territory, and it's blocked by Churchville. Alex Chesley is there to recover for the Saints, and they've got a shot to go up before half. And that's just what they do. 2 plays later, Powell punches it in again. Churchville leads from that point on. The Saints rude on the road. They win 35-13.
Amazing to think that we have reached this point, but here we are. Week 7 of the high school football season, the last week of the regular season before playoffs begin. And one of the biggest rivalries in the state, LeRoy and Cal-Mum. We will pick it up in the second quarter. Cal-Mum getting on the board first as Curtis Hout walks in from a yard out, 6-zip Cal-Mum. LeRoy, though, would come back. Mike McMullen in the flat to Ryan McQuillan. McMullen to McQuillan. I can't write that. That's just reality. Shake and bake, 54 yards for the TD. 7-6, LeRoy leads. Now in the third quarter, Hout with a big run. Didn't need a yard here, needed more, and he gets almost all of it, all the way down to the 1-yard line, of course, which would set up a 1-yard run from him. But Cal-Mum now punting. Snap is going to be a little too high. The punter knocks it out of the end zone. Made it 12-9, Cal-Mum leading, but LeRoy comes back. A big play. They get the win, 19-12. Pink socks all over Section 5 this month. Support of breast cancer awareness. Fairport taking on Rush-Henrietta. Chauncey Sism breaks it. And when I say breaks it, I mean fixes it for RH. Big run for him, 7-0. Rush-Henrietta takes the lead. How about Marquise Young, though? Answers for Fairport. Takes the handoff. 1 yard out. Ties this game up 7 apiece. 7-7 at this point. Sism again. He does this a lot. We have a lot of highlights of him in our files and our archives. And add another to it. Big run for him. Rush-Henrietta finishes the regular season undefeated, 48-14. Meanwhile, Irondequoit taking on Eastridge. Eastridge looking to go their 2nd straight unbeaten season. Alec Mortellaro with the keeper, and he's into the open field, breaking a couple ankle tackles, 41 yards for the score. They had the quick 6-0 lead. Jeremiah Ortiz, well, he's pretty good too. Another guy that we have hours of footage of. Look at this run. This is special. Bouncing outside, stiff-arming guys, breaking tackle, stays in bounds. Lancers win big, 41-0. to finish 7-0. Brighton, meanwhile, hosting Victor tonight. Barons trying to keep it close in the first quarter. It's just 10-7 Victor. Tommy Wagner, far sideline, diving for the pylon, ruled out at the 2, but he would score on the next play. Blue Devils up by 10. Same score in the second. Patrick Metzger goes up top for Cashblyer. He makes the grab and walks into the end zone. Victor was up 23-7. They get a big win tonight in Brighton as they win 39-26. And that is the last week of the high school football season.
I can't believe the season went by. All right, thanks, Toby.
The 7th and final week of Section 5 football's regular season ended tonight. Last night we saw Rush-Henrietta and Eastridge cap off undefeated regular seasons. Today, one team was looking to join them, and some others trying to send their seniors off on a high note. Gates and Thomas drew the late-night kickoff tonight. And in the first quarter, the rain started coming down. Didn't affect these guys, though. Still scoreless early in the second quarter when Alex Armstrong pounds his way in from 4 yards out to put the Titans up 7-0. Couple drives later, still 7-0 Thomas when C.J. Palazzi rips off the big gainer for Gates. Palazzi had a great first half. You will see more from him, like on the next play. Palazzi takes the toss far side and in. Gates ties it up at 7. And check out the ensuing kickoff. Gates kicking to Thomas. Titans returning. And this hit right here is going to jar the football loose, and Gates is on top of it. And just like that, a great shot to take the lead, and that's just what they do. A few plays later, Palazzi again on the toss, takes it in from 2 yards out. Gates up 13-7, but we got to show you this play. Late in the first half, Giovanni Pannoni going deep for Alex Angie, and Angie makes the catch of the weekend. Webster Thomas, they come back to win it 21-13 on senior night. Senior day at Arcadia as they hosted Churchville, and the coaches thinking pink. They're supporting the fight against breast cancer. The Titans looking to strike first on the goal line, but a fumble shuts that down. We stay tied at 0. Now Churchville driving. Second quarter. John Iacucci scrambling around, finds a receiver, but a great play by Arcadia freshman Noah Bernard to force the fumble. Some great defense being played out there at Arcadia today, but someone's got to score. James Latona. Yeah, I'll handle this. He scores from in close, and Churchville takes a 7-0 lead. Arcadia trying to answer. But Mike Catanolo, other plans. Catanolo, the hit stick, doing his best to keep Arcadia scoreless. And a couple plays later, his boy Latona is going to do the same. Javon Hampton going deep, but Latona there for the pick. Churchville cruises. They win 24-0. Brockport was at Athena this afternoon looking to go 7-0, and they do. Josh Stiefel will get the late interception for the Blue Devils, and Brockport is a 39-13 winner. The Blue Devils will be in the same sectional bracket as Eastridge, potentially setting up a battle of unbeatens in the Class A championship. Elsewhere in Section 5 today, Wilson knocks off Edison 28-7, and HFL hosted Canandaigua. The Braves won that one 48-21. Marshall traveled to Pittsford. The Panthers, big winners, 49-0 final there.
All right, the playoffs started tonight. Section 5 postseason getting underway. You remember an NFL game back in the 80s, Bears and Eagles, known as the Fog Bowl? We had our own version of that tonight in Victor. Rivals Canandaigua and Victor. First half, everything looking good in Class A. Mike Wagner going to jump over the line into the end zone for the touchdown. Makes it a 7-0 Victor lead. It was 7-7 when Jamin Ransom of Canandaigua takes it in for the touchdown. It's 14-7. Cue the fog. It's ready to roll in down in Victor, and take a look at how it looks and try to keep your eyes on the highlights. Austin Coyne to Anthony Paliano, who catches it, goes in for the touchdown. We think 21-14 Canandaigua. We'll go right to the end. 40 seconds left in regulation. Wagner's going to roll out, and then run it into the end zone for the touchdown to tie up the game and send it to overtime. In the OT, Victor gets it first. Tommy Wagner runs it to the 1. They'd score on the next play, but they missed the extra point. So Canandaigua got the ball with a chance to tie or win. It's Coyne to Pagliano again for the touchdown. We think he's in. Now it's time for the extra point. Nick Bellis to win it. Into the fog, into the night. Canandaigua beats Victor 28-27. How about McQuaid and Spencerport? 4-5 matchup early in the rain tonight. McQuaid up 6-0. Corey Parker off tackle, 38 yards. He is gone for the touchdown. 12-0 Knights. First play of the next drive for the Rangers. Jake O'Connell, 80 yards for the score. They're not going to catch him. Touchdown there. It's a one-score game. But here comes McQuaid back again on offense, and again it's Parker. This time from 1 yard out, he plunges in. McQuaid moves on with the win tonight, the final 38-21. Unbeaten Brockport taking on Greece Athena tonight. It's tied at 7 in the second when Denzel Knight gets going here. Watch the move and the touchdown from 4 yards out. It's 14-7. Ensuing Athena possession. They're going to toss it to Trayvon Jones, who runs it in, and this game was tied at 14 at the break. First possession of the second half. Tom Saideski is going to give it to Knight. That was a good idea. Look at the vision and the running motion here, and he is going to take it the distance. 68 yards for the touchdown to give him the lead. The Blue Devils then force an interception, and then on Athena's next possession, Saideski's going to hook up with Tyler Murtaugh for the touchdown. Brockport advances with the win. The final 35-21. Churchville and Eastridge tonight. Eastridge playing without their big guy, Alex Officer, out with an injury. Third quarter, tied at 7. Josh Powell coming right at you. He's going to run it into the end zone. And Churchville surprising with a 14-7 lead. You know, they would get the ball back. They were driving again. But here's the theft on this play. Alex Mortellaro just steals the ball, strips it right out of his hands, goes in the other direction, 45 yards for the touchdown, tying the game at 14. From that point on, they rolled. Markel Vasquez here, 30 yards out for the touchdown. Eastridge goes on to the victory tonight, the final 54-28 over Churchville. How about Aquinas and their freshman quarterback, Jake Zembeck, against Wilson tonight? First quarter, scoreless game. Zembeck going up top to Donato Clemente inside the 15. He's in for Aquinas. Later in the drive, Ishmael Cox is going to take the pitch and go in for the touchdown to make it a 7-0 lead. Second quarter, Zembeck again. This kid can throw. Watch this one over the middle to Clemente. This would get him down to the 20-yard line. A couple of plays later, it's Zembeck again to Altron Webb for the touchdown to make it 14-0. They turn the freshman loose tonight. Later, Zembeck again. He's going to air it out to Alonzo Turney. We're going to see a lot of Zembeck touchdowns at Aquinas. They roll to the win tonight, the final 27-7. And we all talked about this game earlier. Geneva advancing over HFL 44-20.
Nobody Tebowing tonight in the opening round of the Section 5 playoffs that we saw at least. Opening round wrapping up today with 6 more teams punching a ticket to Salem Stadium next weekend. Starting with a new one tonight. 2-seed Hilton taking on 7-seed Fairport in the first play from scrimmage. Fairport, you can't start better than this. Marquise Young finds a hole, finds an opening, and goodbye. Down the sideline he goes. 69 yards to the house for the score. 7-0 Fairport. You can't ask for more than that. Next Hilton possession, though, they answer. Long drive, capped up by a 2-yard touchdown from Derek Richards. We are tied at 7. It would stay that way until the third quarter. Richards again. Nice run. Puts the Cadets in position to take the lead, and Dustin Ligori gets it done. A 1-yard QB sneak. 14-7 Hilton. Less than 4 minutes to go now. Fairport facing 4th and long. Kevin Vaughn desperately looking for something downfield. Nobody home to answer the bell. Hilton holds on to win 14-7 tonight. From earlier today, we had Pittsford taking on East High in Class AA. It's already 7-0 Pittsford. Nick Barclay, 2-yard touchdown plunge makes it 14-0 Panthers. Next East possession. They look like they're going to get a big gain out of this, but big Pittsford hit causes the fumble. Ben Kroll picks it up, dodges a tackle. Nice lateral move. Out of the way, coach. Nobody's in Kroll's way. He scores the touchdown. It's 21-0. Next East possession. Justin Noy's pass deflected by Mac Atkins. This one tough luck. Kroll there for the great interception. Pittsford goes on to win today 42-0. Unbeaten Red Jacket hosting defending state champ Letchworth. You wonder if Letchworth had the magic they had last year. They had problems getting the snap off early. A fumble here. Red Jacket recovers deep in Letchworth territory. Ensuing drive, Corey Fogarty bursts up the middle. He's into the end zone for the touchdown. Nice burst. Literally bursting right up the middle for that. 12-0 Red Jacket. Next Letchworth possession. The Wildcat. Keenan Platt down the far sideline. He's into the end zone for the score. We got ourselves a ball game. 12-7 after that. But Red Jacket now. 4th down. They fake the punt. Tyler Liberty pass to Ethan Bretz. Big gain. 1st down. Keeps the drive going. And guess what? You know it's coming. Just before the half, Liberty rolls right to Cyrus Baker for the score. Red Jacket gets the win, 20-14. Class D semifinals, top seed Notre Dame of Batavia hosting Dundee today. Scotsman with the ball. Axel Jensen completes a pass. Big hit here, jars the bar loose. Nick Taylor on the fumble. Irish get the recovery. Ensuing drive for them. Irish looking to punch it in. Colin Pryor, he's playing defense, and he's going to pick it off. Dundee's defense holds them. It stays scoreless at that point. But they would not be able to score on that drive, so the Irish get the ball back. Tim McCulley, this time looking for his own man, Nick Taylor. He's finding him for the touchdown. 7-0 Notre Dame, and they win 28-6. And a slugfest at Elba Byron Burgeon as Bath was looking for the upset today. They're up 6-0. Elba Byron Burgeon trying to come back. Bruce Rinker, though, picking it off for Bath. Nice play. He goes up and gets it at its highest point. But Elba would get the ball back just under 2 minutes to go. The snap, though, low. Mitch Buckley recovers. The Rams defense pitches a shutout. 6-0 the final. And hey, technical difficulties keeping us from showing you this, but Rush-Henrietta just had a great game today. 56-zip in their playoff game over Webster Thomas. Next up, a semifinal matchup versus Aquinas at Salem Stadium. That's the matchup everyone wanted to see when the year began. RH and Aquinas.
If you went to the Eastridge-McQuaid game tonight, you know you saw a classic. If you missed it, you'll regret it when you see the highlights from tonight. These two teams in a battle to see which one would go to the Class A football finals. Let's go down to Salem Stadium tonight. We'll pick it up late in the fourth. McQuaid down by 3. They've got a kicker who can drill the ball. Will Mahar kicks it there. Game tied at 14. We'll fast forward to late in regulation. McQuaid driving with a chance to win the game. Basically, hold on to it, get the field goal, and you win. Hold on. They don't. They fumble it. Eastridge recovers. They're in business. We're going to overtime in the OT. Eastridge gets the game first. They give the ball to Jeremiah Ortiz, and he takes it for the touchdown there to give Eastridge the lead. But McQuaid gets their opportunity, and they give the ball to their running back. It's Corey Parker who's going to take it down the left side for the touchdown to tie it up and send it to a second overtime. So now this time it's McQuaid who gets the ball first. They drive down. Mahar kicks the field goal. McQuaid has the lead. It's a last chance for Eastridge. They drive down. It's 4th and goal from the 1, and coach makes the call. No field goal. We're going to go for the win. And they fumble the ball, but it rolls in the end zone. Now the question, who recovers? If McQuaid gets it, they win. If Eastridge gets it, it's a touchdown, and they win, and touchdown, Eastridge. They win it in double overtime. Here's the young man who recovered the ball.
I got frightened a little bit. I ran, seen the ball, jumped on it, bobbled around a little bit, and got one hand on it and pulled it in. I lost it for a second, and I see it slip out of the lineman, and then I dove on it, put one hand out, and grabbed it.
When it's down on the ground, I had no idea what was going to happen. I really don't know how to answer that. Who knows whose ball that is? It was destiny at that point, I guess.
Wow, what a win for Eastridge over McQuaid. So now Eastridge would meet the winner of the Canandaigua-Brockport rematch. Brockport, unbeaten, already had a win against Canandaigua this year, but the Braves love being the underdog. They're down 7. Final seconds of the first half. Jamin Ransom picks it off at his own 8, and he is going to go the distance. 92 yards to tie the game at 14. At the break, and then in the second half, we're going to pick it up in the fourth quarter. Canandaigua's built a lead by 7. They kick it off to Brockport. They try to get clever. It doesn't work. They fumble the kickoff. It's recovered by Canandaigua, and then the Braves make them pay. Austin Coyne to Sean Outhouse, who makes the grab. The 6th-seeded Canandaigua Braves score the last 28 points and win it to go to the finals.
You know, we think teams are sort of underestimating us a little bit, and we're just playing our hearts out, trying to stay in this thing, and you know it's working so far.
I guess we're pegged as the underdogs, but we're confident. You know, we knew we're a good football team, and we knew we were improving every week, and we're playing our best football at the end of the season. So, you know, we're the underdogs, but we're confident every time we go into a game.
Well, they have a right to be. They're in the finals. Now, how about the finals for tomorrow? The semifinal games going on and a couple of championships. Attica Hornell gets it started. Then Bath LeRoy, Avon and Red Jacket. They close it out with Clyde and Notre Dame. There's 4 games on Sunday, too. Great time for high school football.
Well, John Doss is here with a first look at sports for us. A wild weekend, another wild weekend for Section 5 football.
Wild weather, too, absolutely. Conditions not necessarily ideal out at Salem Stadium tonight. But when you're chasing a sectional championship, that hardly matters. Class Double D title game, top-seeded Red Jacket taking on Avon, the 2 seed. We go all the way to the third quarter, still scoreless before Avon quarterback T.J. Cry takes it in himself. And Avon, a 7-0 lead. Next possession, they find themselves near the goal line again. This time it's Jake Martinez weaving through the Indian defense. Avon leads it 14-0, but Red Jacket not going away. Late in the fourth, Tyler Liberty finds Zach Coyne across the middle. Coyne breaks free, and he's gone. They missed the extra point, so the lead cut down to 8, and they'd get one more shot. Liberty looking for Coyne again, finds him in the flat. He flips to Corey Fogarty. The old hook and ladder. but he gets run out of bounds. And Avon is your Class Double D champs. They win at 14-6. Your Class D championship game and a crazy finish to the Syracuse football game coming up later in sports. Adam.
John, we'll see you in a few. Thank you.
Already saw one team capture a sectional title tonight when Avon beat Red Jacket in the Double D final. In the nightcap, Notre Dame and Clyde Savannah went searching for the Class D trophy, and the weather wasn't letting up for these guys. But this is what Class D football is all about. Never the glamour, it's all about the game. Early on for Clyde, Tom Malasani goes deep and finds Joe Fanile for the big gainer, and that sets him up for a touchdown pass from Malasani to Dalton Murray, and quickly Clyde Savannah up 6-0. But Notre Dame would drive downfield. Nick Taylor punches it in for the Irish, and Notre Dame takes the 7-6 lead. Next Clyde possession, Malasani again looking for Fanile, but Tim McCulley is there instead, and he's moving. McCulley takes it deep into Clyde territory, and this kid doesn't just play defense. Now he's a quarterback, too. McCulley going to the end zone. And Charlie Herbert goes up and makes the grab. Notre Dame is your Class D champs. They win 26-6. Earlier today, Class C semis. Top-seeded Hornell against fourth-seeded Attica. Early on, Hornell, they've got a streak to protect. The Richie Harkenrider going up top for Brendan Boyce. Hornell up to a 7-0 lead early, but Attica hung on around in the first half. Next Hornell drive, off the option, the fumble. The Blue Devils are on top of it. Could they build some momentum? Well, the fourth seed pulling out all the stops, going for the halfback pass, but Boyce is there for Hornell, intercepts it at the 1, and they proceed to march 99 yards downfield, capped off by a Zach Bacon touchdown to put Hornell up 14-0, and they weren't done. Second half, Harkenrider looking for Julian Reinhardt on the corner. Reinhardt reels it in, and he's gone. A 55-yard throw and catch puts Hornell up 21-0. And just for kicks, Luke Morgan getting in the stat sheet, adds a score late. Hornell will play for another Class C title. They win 35-0. And those two teams that followed him up, Bath and LeRoy. Bath's first drive ends with this 1-yard score by Daniel Leonard, puts him up 7-0. But ensuing kickoff, LeRoy's Tom Kelso gone. 78 yards to the end zone, and just like that, we're tied up at 7 apiece. Bath, though, answers right back. Leonard looking deep for Matt Nevius, who's going to bobble it, but bring it in. And he drags a LeRoy defender down to the 21-yard line. And we've seen this already. Leonard, again, the 1-yard plunge over the pile, just gets the ball across. They lead 13-7. But as was the trend, LeRoy goes right back to work. Peter Privatera takes the toss left, finds the far sideline, and he's gone. Puts LeRoy on top. And Bath would score on their next drive. Another 1-yard run by Leonard, but it's all right. LeRoy not worried. Mike McCullen looking for Ryan McQuillan and finds him. They connect for the long score, and LeRoy advances. They win 44-27.
We're very happy. We haven't been here in a while. It's been 3 years since we were able to play in this type of game, and I just really happy for the kids. They've worked all year long. They got themselves in a situation. I think it comes back to our county. Livingston County plays great football. Avon's right behind us now, and that's what it's all about. When you play great teams week in and week out, it prepares you for sectional play, and that's a good thing about being in that county.
John Dawes is here now. The first look at sports. It was a big and rainy day for Section 5 football.
Absolutely. It was wet out there. Tonight, two teams at Salem Stadium earned the right to play for Section 5's highest honor, a Double-A championship. In the nightcap, 2-seeded Hilton and 3-seeded Pittsford vying for that right opening drive for the Panthers. Glenn Malinich off tackle left side, and the coach's kid will rumble. Malinich all the way inside the Hilton 20, and a couple plays later, Nick Barclay would finish the job. Pittsford up 7-0. But Hilton comes right back and answers. Derek Richards from in close fights his way in, and the Cadets have tied it at 7 apiece. But few have been able to stop Pittsford's rushing attack this year. It's Malinich again. He finds the corner and scores 14-7 Pittsford. And we've told you how bad this weather's been all weekend out there. The Cadets trying to tie it, but the snap is high, slips through the hands of the quarterback, and the Panthers recover, and Pittsford would take advantage. It's Barclay again, left side, touchdown. Hilton would make it interesting, but Pittsford wins and advances Who will they play? Well, we'll tell you coming up a little bit later in sports. Rachel. We already saw one team advance to the Class AA title game with Pittsford over Hilton, but who would they play next week for the section's highest honor? Well, let's find out. Rush-Henrietta, the state's top team, took on perennial power Aquinas in its first AA semifinal appearance after moving up from single A this season. First play for AQ, Billy Lombardi, gone 50 yards, even outruns RH superstar Chauncey Sissom. Just like that, the Irish up 7-0. Now the play of the day, Sissom hassled in the backfield, but breaks free and heaves one up for Joe LaRocca, who goes up and gets it. We're tied at 7. Later on, AQ looking to take the lead in the third quarter. Lombardi takes the toss, far sided. He's in. Aquinas has the 14-7 lead, but RH not going away. Fourth quarter, Sissom finds Chase Weichman across the middle, and he's in. The Royal Comets go for 2. They fail, so it's 14-13 AQ. Aquinas looking to put them away. Ishmael Cox scores, and the Irish go up 21-13. Sissom and RH, though, would get one last shot. All the way inside the AQ red zone. Sissom's pass into the end zone is tipped and intercepted. It doesn't matter what class it is. Aquinas advances to its first AA title game. The Irish wins 21-13.
Well, there was no real difference. You know, we're going to come in and prepare each week the same as if we were number one. You know, we're going to play as if we were number one. You know, we're with the big guys now. You know, Pittsford and Hilton and Rush, they're the big teams from AA. And, you know, we got moved up, so we knew we had more competition there.
These kids never thought they were underdogs. That was great about them. They're six-time defending sectional champion, and just because they moved us doesn't change that. So we came to play hard, and we played. And, you know, now the hard thing is to get ready for one of those two teams, which will both be tough.
Of course, referencing Pittsford and Hilton. Umbrellas were out all day long. Early game of the Class B semis, Geneva and Livonia. Geneva on its first drive, and Josh Jackson puts it in. The Panthers lead 7-0. Ensuing kickoff. Notice the Livonia return man having trouble holding on to the football. That's called foreshadowing. Geneva strips it on the kickoff, and the Panthers recover, and they are moving. Next drive, Jackson again across the goal line, and Livonia's down 14-0. Their offense hadn't even touched the ball yet, but the Bulldogs would come back. Derek Bishop from in close for the score. This one would be tied at 20 late in the fourth quarter, and Livonia would have the last possession of the regulation, trying to move the ball downfield. Connor Pierce finds Bishop at the 21. This team's not normally a kicking team, but they're going to go for it from 38 yards out, and Dustin Ayers gets 38.5. It's good. Livonia wins in dramatic fashion. They advance.
Well, Coach asked me if I had it in me, and I said, yeah. I was confident. I just had to take a deep breath and kick it. Thank God the offense got the ball down to where I could get it. I'm just glad they could do that. And they blocked extremely well on that kick to give me time.
You know, you don't ever quit, guys. Never, 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 never give up. Winston Churchill. And we didn't, and that Bulldog, to us, this Bulldog, we got it done.
All right, now Livonia will face the winner of the East Rochester-Newark matchup, and the weather wasn't letting up for these guys either. What a precursor for how sloppy it was out there. Here's the opening kickoff. Poor return man struggles to bring it in once, twice, 3 times. Finally just falls on it. Neither team scores in the first quarter. Now in the second, Newark driving, but the deep ball is picked off by one of the best names in Section 5 football, Nate Teeter. And he may go. Teeter down the home sideline, takes it 90 yards all the way down to the 5-yard line, and the Bombers are in business. 4 plays later, Kendrick Watson takes it in, and East Rochester goes up 7-0. And remember, we told you it was sloppy out there. Well, next Newark possession. Ball slips right through the punter's hands. He'd eventually fall on it, but the Bombers will take over deep in Reds territory, and a couple plays later, it's Watson again in the end zone, and East Rochester wins big, 27-0.
Mark McLean was talking about Grapple. Toby Motika is here to talk about high school football.
Indeed. It was cold out, though. Mark was right. Listen to Mark. Big opportunity for a couple teams out there tonight. Aquinas has enjoyed unparalleled success in Section 5, but mostly at the Class A level. This year, They made the jump to AA. Pittsford, meanwhile, was still looking for its first title after combining schools into one team. That, by the way, about 30-something years ago. Pittsford looking for that title, and early on, they looked good. Nick Barkley pounds it in, and the Panthers had a 7-0 lead right off the bat in the first. 2 Aquinas drives later. Jake Zembeck, low on the slant, intercepted by Ben Kroll. He is gone. His second interception of the day goes for 7, and Pittsford's up 14-0 and rolling. But just seconds left in the half, Aquinas rushes its kicking team on the field, and they get it. They're on the board, and that would prove to be big. Start of the fourth quarter, Billy Lombardi pounds it across on 4th and goal from the 1. The Irish go for 2 and fail, so they're down 5. Big moment here, though. Pittsford at midfield, 4th and 1 with under 5 minutes left, and Aquinas stuffs them, so they get the ball back, and Lombardi pounded away all day, sometimes had trouble finding room, finds it here for the go-ahead score and the winning score. The Little Irish capture another championship, 15-14. And coming up, we'll hear from Aquinas, plus have highlights from all the other championship games as well. Adam?
All right, Toby, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you.
6 teams playing on the football field tonight. Just 3 championship trophies available to give out as the Section 5 finals got underway today. Moving on to Class B, Livonia and East Rochester. Canandaigua tied at 14 here when Nate Teeter. This is one of the best runs you'll see all year. Near side, looks like he's stopped by multiple defenders. Whoop, there he goes, pops out, spins away, outruns everyone into the end zone. They had a 7-point lead. Livonia and Derek Bishop, though, they would have the answer. Watch Bishop take the pitch. A big man who can run pretty fast, but I said big. Look at the end of this run. Get off me. Over the pylon and in. We are tied once again. Tied at 34 in the 4th. Chris Folumontis. He had a huge game, 133 yards and 3 scores, including that one, to put the Bombers ahead for good. And East Rochester Canandaigua back on top of Section 5, 48-34.
This is my 20th year. We've been to 5 other championship games, lost them all. We finally got one. This group of kids are just a very resilient, hardworking, tough group of kids, and they proved it in the second half today.
It's the best feeling I've ever had. I've never gotten an opportunity to get one of these, but being with the team I have, we're really close, and it was really cool being able to do it with them.
Yeah, good to see the Bombers back on top. Now let's move on to the Class D qualifier between Notre Dame, Batavia, and Avon. Started well for the Irish. Tim McCulley from 3 yards out, 7-zip. Batavia, Notre Dame. Avon, though, would answer immediately. TJ Cry on the run. Nice throw far sideline to Jake Martinez. 30 yards for the score. Point after no good. It's 7-6. But Avon had a 14-7 lead when Cry on the slant. Perfect throw, catch, and run. 30 more yards for another touchdown. 22-7 after that, and they'd add to it yet again. Cry, another of his 4 total TDs on the day. 2 passing, 2 rushing, and Avon is your Class D champion, 43-7.
You know, we'll take every week as a big week and a new challenge for us. You know, the kids are a really focused group. They'll enjoy this today, and they'll get back to work tomorrow and get ready for the next game.
We're all satisfied with what we've done, but we want more. But like the accomplishments we've already had is definitely keeping us going. Like, we are proud of what we've done so far.
They're moving on. And in case you missed it earlier in the show, Pittsford and Aquinas in AA. Pittsford had a 4th and 1 at midfield, just over 5 minutes to go and up 5. But AQ stuffs them, so they get the ball back. And Billy Lombardi going far sideline, one of his 33 carries for over 100 yards. Aquinas wins Class AA, their first year in AA, 15-14. This one's a little sweeter than most.
Anybody could have coached these kids because they were great kids and they did everything we want. And this is the sweetest one of all because it's a AA one and nobody thought we could win it and nobody wanted us to win it. So it's just unbelievable.
There's nothing that compares to this one. I mean, we won 6 in a row in A, but this one here means a lot because a lot of people didn't think we'd be able to do it. We are the 4th seed. We played some great teams and played really well in order to get here, and we were able to do it. So there's a different feeling with this one.
And still 2 more games to go coming up on Sunday. For Section 5 football players, dreams are made at Salem Stadium. Section 5 finals came to a close today at the stadium with 2 more teams punching tickets into the state title game. We'll start in Class A where Eastridge was taking on the 6th seed, Canandaigua. The Braves, they've been a Cinderella story here, and they look good early. On the board first is Sean Outhouse, busts out 7-0. Canandaigua, Nate Corbett, though, coming back with the answer for the Lancers. They're undefeated for a reason, mostly because of that ground game and the defense. Let's keep to the ground game. Jeremiah Ortiz, probably the main guy in the backfield. Shows why with a touchdown run there. Then Alec Mortellero, QB keeper. Doesn't look like he's keeping it. The defense falls for it, and then watch this move. Goodbye. He just kind of jogs into the end zone as Eastridge starts to pull away. Ortiz would try to help him do it. He's going to take the draw play out of the shotgun, scamper his way far side into the end zone. And hey, we mentioned the defense. Got to show a little bit of them too. That's what would seal it. Justin Henry plays the out route, and when you do that, you are rewarded. Pick 6 to the end zone for a touchdown. Lancers win 47-7, still undefeated and moving on.
I can't. I don't know. Ever since I was little, I've been wanting to get one of these. Last year, we could have done it. This year, we did it, and it's just unlike any other feeling.
Oh, it feels great, man. This is probably one of the best feelings I ever felt in my life. Everybody did a good job. They did their part, took care of what was in front of them, and we got the W.
Yeah. Hornell looking for a W2, by the way. They've won 48 in a row, taking on LeRoy in the Class C championship. It's LeRoy getting on the board first, though. Maybe the underdogs here making some noise. Tom Kelsa runs it in. It's 7-0. Now, you notice a little bit of snow. Here's some real snow. Ugh. Makes it kind of hard to throw, too, as Richie Harkenrider finds out. Kylan Carter, the nice pick. LeRoy up 7-0 at the half. Third quarter, Hornell would find some running room. Zach Bacon shows a little sizzle. Breaks into the open field, and he's into the end zone. Hornell, though, 2 points, no good. Just 7-6. Later in the third, Kyle O'Connor takes it, runs it right at us. That's a touchdown. 12-7 Hornell, point after, no good again. The defense, though, would really seal it. Harkenrider swooping in for the sack and the safety. Hornell would add another touchdown. They win Class C and are heading back for a shot at a 4th straight state title, even without their longtime coach, Gene Maston.
Coach Maston built this program into what it is, and the kids know that when the season ends, they get a little time off and then it's back to work. So they've been working at this with this goal in mind since January. So I couldn't be prouder of them, the effort they gave, especially in the second half when they came out and decided they had to win the ball game. So they packed their lunch and went to work.
I mean, it feels great every year. The last 4 years has been awesome. I mean, this is just amazing. My senior year, I didn't want it to end. I mean, everyone had doubts at the half, but I mean, we manned up right at half.
Now, Section 5 versus Section 6 next week.
All right, after winning a Section 5 championship, the next spot on a road to a possible state title, a ride to Buffalo for the Western Regionals. Tonight in Class A, Eastridge took on Sweet Home. We've got your highlights tonight from up at All High Stadium. Early on, Eastridge gets a break. Fumble by Sweet Home, and the Lancers are going to be there to recover. This puts them in business. And then later on the first drive, Alec Mortellero is going to pass it and find Nate Corbett right there for the touchdown. It's a 7-0 lead. Then it's Mortellero going deep again and finding Markel Vasquez coming right at you. First down, Lancers. Still in the second quarter, Jeremiah Ortiz going to run it in. It's a 14-7 game at half. And then on the first drive of the third quarter, Mortellero again to Ortiz for the touchdown. But two late Sweet Home touchdowns tied it. Then they got the game winner in overtime. Sweet Home beats Eastridge 28-21. How about Avon in the Class D regional against Randolph of Section 6 for Randolph? Jordan Dowiett's here. Takes off, and he's gone down the sidelines, helping Randolph build a 27-0 lead. But Avon didn't quit. Their quarterback, T.J. Cry, is going to look and then take it himself for the touchdown, make it 27-7. And then later he's going to go to the air, and he's going to find John Ambroselli for the touchdown to make it 27-14. They were in the game, but Randolph had too much. A late score is going to close it out. Randolph goes on to the win tonight to end Avon's great season. The final tonight, 34-14. 3 more Section 5 teams give it a try tomorrow.
We started the weekend with 5 teams remaining from Section 5, but coming into today, we were down to 3. Aquinas and Orchard Park in Class AA in the Far West Regional. OP would strike first, though. In the second, Ben Holmes. This is a nice scramble. Starts on the far side of the field, and he's coming near side. Breaks a couple tackles and dives in for the score. 7-0 Orchard Park. Stayed that way until the fourth quarter. Aquinas fielding the punt. Ishmael Cox lets it bounce. Get away from it. Now he picks it up Risky move, and boy, does it pay off. He's following his blockers. Look at him just directing traffic, cuts inside, trips down at the 1. Oh, that has to hurt, but it hurts a lot less when Billy Lombardi takes it left side and in. We are tied at 7. This is supposed to be a down year for Aquinas. Late 4th now. Little Irish hoping to drive for the winning score, but instead the backwards pass finds no one, so it's a fumble. Orchard Park would later score to go up 14-7. Last chance for AQ. Zembek's pass toward the end zone, knocked away. Aquinas season ends 14-7. Moving on to Class C, Hornell. Eric Warner's bunch taking on Cleveland Hills today. What a game for Julian Reinhardt. Takes the punt, and this is a theme, huh? Reinhardt, far sideline. He cuts back near sideline, and no one's even close to him. He waltzes into the end zone for 6 points. Hornell now with a 2-touchdown lead. Now Richie Harkenrider looking for, guess who? Reinhardt. Young man does it all. Catches this one in the back of the end zone. Hornell up 20-6, and it was a career day for him. You saw him on special teams, saw him on offense. Now see him on defense. One of his 3 interceptions. This one goes to the house. So 3 touchdowns, 3 picks for Reinhardt. Hornell, their 50th straight win, 27-6. Moving on to Class B, the Western Regional between East Rochester, Canandaigua, and Alden. Late first half, Bombers down 7-0. Going for it on 4th and goal. Quick snap and throw, catches the D sleeping. Zach Hauser to Andrew Fisher. We're tied at 7. But that left too much time at the end of the first half for Alden. They are unbeaten for a reason. Look at that catch and throw. It's 14-7 at half. They would take that momentum into the second half. They roll today 35-7. Year after year, the faces of Hornell football continue to change, but the results have stayed the same. 50 straight wins dating back to 2009, and number 51 would earn them a shot at their 4th straight state title. This is historic stuff. History for Zach Bacon, too, by the way. He's never lost. Hoped he wouldn't start a trend against Chenango Forks out of Section 4. First quarter, Richie Harkenrider looking deep for his man, Brendan Bish, and he makes the catch, turns on the speed. 6-zip Hornell, point after, no good. Second quarter, Harkenrider lobbing it to the corner. Julian Reinhardt had a touchdown on every side of the ball last week. This is all he needed that week. Highlight reel. Beats the double coverage, makes it 12-7 Red Raiders at the half. Zach Bacon, meanwhile, the guy who's never lost, didn't want to lose today. Turns on the Jets himself. That big. You shouldn't be that fast if you're that size. Pushed out inside the 10, couple plays later. Give it to the guy who got you there again. Bacon, end zone, 20-7 Red Raiders. They're going to play for the Class C state title next week after that final.
Meet the Carrier Dome. 15 seniors from Hornell set out to do the unimaginable, finish their careers without a loss. Not since November 2nd, 2008 had the Red Raiders football team dropped a game. A streak of 51 consecutive wins. 52 in a row would give them their 4th state title in as many years. Eric Warner picked right up from where legendary coach Gene Maston left the program last year. And on the second play from scrimmage, Luke Morgan gone. 74 yards untouched to give Hornell the early lead. But Hoosick Falls is no slouch. In their last 47 games, they're 44-3, thanks in large part to Billy Pine, who finds Randy Tatujan for the equalizer. Pine would run one in himself to make it 14-7 Panthers before Zach Bacon. Boy, what a career this kid has had at Cornell. But at the end of the vintage Bacon run, Dragon guys, the ball stripped away. Hoosick Falls comes away with it. And on the next play, Pine, the dart to the corner. The Panthers go up 2 scores. And with that offense, that's all they'd need. Hornell falls for the first time in 4 years, and Hoosick Falls wins its first ever state title.